In this lecture, we are going to discuss some emerging trends that are shaping human resource management in the current era. Now, these trends have brought some subtle changes in human resource practices and have also presented some challenges for HR professionals around the world. So, the first trend which we will discuss is globalization. So, what is globalization? Basically, globalization refers to the tendency of the firms to extend their sales, their ownership, and manufacturing to new markets abroad. So, around the world, firms have been influenced by globalization. So, companies like General Electric, Apple, they have located their back office support operations in countries where the labor is available at low cost, and companies have relocated their operations because of intense competition and for purposes like sales expansion. So more globalization means more competition, and more competition means that there is more pressure to be world class, to lower the costs, to improve productivity, performance, and efficiency. So both workers and companies, they have to work harder, they have to work smarter. So we now have to understand two terms, offshoring and outsourcing. What is offshoring? Now, offshoring means having employees abroad to do the jobs. And outsourcing, on the other hand, means transferring jobs to companies in countries where labor is available at low cost. So in offshoring, basically sending employees to work abroad, and even hiring employees from other countries to do the jobs. And outsourcing means that you are entirely transferring your jobs to other countries where the labor is available at low cost. So the jobs are done by third parties. So there are many companies that offshore and outsource even the highly skilled jobs, such as sales managers, general managers, HR managers, and a lot of service jobs are being outsourced, like call centers, let's say. So as companies outsource their jobs, existing employees often feel threat to their job security. And as a result, employees might experience stress and experience loss of productivity. Moving on to the next point, which is deregulation. So it's important to understand what is meant by deregulation. Deregulation is one of those trends that have contributed to economic growth in many countries initially. It means that governments strip away rules and regulations from different sectors. So in the United States and Europe, for instance, what happened was that initially rules prevented commercial banks from expanding into new businesses. But when the banking sector was deregulated, banks could easily expand, banks could easily loan out to the consumers. Expanding into new businesses was basically relaxed. So as a result of easing borrowing due to deregulation, as banks easily loaned out money to the consumers, people started to take loans at a very rapid rate. So financial giants like Citibank quickly emerged and economies start to boom. As lending requirements were eased, more businesses and consumers went deeply into debt. Home buyers bought homes, often with very little money, and bankers freely lent money to the developers to build more and more homes for almost 20 years. So US consumers actually spent more than they earned. So in reality, the economic boom caused by deregulation was artificial. It was not built on real money, it was built on debt. And as a result, the financial system collapsed in the US, followed by other countries in Europe and Asia. So as a result of this whole financial crisis, a lot of jobs were lost because companies had to lay off thousands of employees to cut their costs. In situations like this, it's the responsibility of the HR to tactfully manage the laid off employees in stressful times, and by ensuring that their benefits and their salaries, their last salaries, are paid on time so that the employees don't spread negative word of mouth when they leave the organization. So moving on to the next point, which is technological trends. So everyone knows that technology has basically changed the nature of how we all work today. within our organizations, we use intranets to communicate, let's say, and when we are shopping, we prefer the online medium. And this is all something which we couldn't imagine 10 years back. So now technology has changed what businesses do and how they do it. So technology has enabled companies like Dell and thousands of employers to offshore their call centers to countries where the labor is available at low cost. For instance, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, etc. You might have heard about this retailer called Zara, the clothing brand. So Zara does not maintain an expensive inventory. How? By having a whole automated system of refurbishing the inventory when needed. So now what Zara does, it operates its own internet-based worldwide distribution. So it's basically linked to its checkout registers around the world. So what happens is, as soon as the garment is sold out in a particular store, the system takes in the information, and then the manufacturing system is also computerized. It starts making the same product which was sold and ships it to the particular store within days. So the need or the costs that goes into managing expensive inventory is drastically cut down due to the use of technology. So these are obviously the things that change the way we work. So change basically requires you doing things differently, or getting rid of some practices that worked previously, but now those practices don't work as efficiently. So these are all the challenges that HR managers need to work on. Then moving on to the aging workforce. This is also a challenge. Now, if we see workforce in our corporate sector in different organizations, we see that there are many generations working together. We have four generations working side by side. We have traditionalists, we have baby boomers, Generation X, then we have millennials, Generation Y, all under the same roof. And we are all different. Different generations are different in their own ways. The way we communicate, the way we interact, the way we think. So it's a challenge on HR that how HR manages the demands and conflicts between the workforce, which is comprised of different generations, obviously. So HR departments, HR professionals are all working on these factors to and they are basically taking these factors into consideration to develop strategies to improve employee satisfaction, to improve productivity and performance at the same time.